I really doubt. Yeah. So that I made no effort to match this curvature up in terms of like where the geometry is happening. So it looks like this is denser. So I may need to make the smaller piece conform to the larger piece, or the inner piece conform to the outer piece, just because the inner piece has got more geo. If that makes sense, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this corner up here. I'll just throw a crease. Not the edge of complete, just the one. Let's see if we can grab our original now and just kind of get out of the way. That's a little strange. I don't hate it, but it's not really what I'm going for. That little warble there. And what I want is for there to be a bit of a gap, so it feels like the eyeball thing is like attached internally, and that this is just some kind of trim around the outside of it. And I feel like I might need to maybe come over here and potentially sharpen that corner up as well. That's a little strange. Let's go ahead. It's not really super visible. I'm just going to get rid of that set of face, or this face right here. So we'll go to Stitch. It's out of the way. So you can see it's like not even really that big of a deal to throw that triangle in there. Pretty compliant overall. Let's give a little bit of a transition so things don't line up perfectly. I mean, unless you want them to. All right, now let's go ahead and let's think about what's happening here. I don't like how pinchy this area is, so I'm just going to mask this little piece. Tap the Y key, draw from one vert to the other, and hold Shift, and I can move it up as a unit so that gets a little bit more evenly spaced. Feels like this might be a little gappy, so I'm going to do the exact opposite and just kind of scoot it down a bit. Just using my mask lasso. You can see how wide this one is. Now with my brush size that big, it's going to be really hard to only modify one part of it, which is why I kind of like masking. So you can make sure you're only hitting the stuff that you mean to hit. And I'm sure we'll continue to play with this over the course of the project. Alright, so now we have this area in here that hasn't really been thought through very much. So I just like sculpted it down and smoothed it out, and you know that could conceivably work. But this is just kind of an open edge in there that's kind of hanging. So I think I'd rather just throw a new piece of geo in there very quickly. Find our Z-sphere, drop it to the bottom, enable topology. And I'm going to just build a little piece in here that will fill it up. Turn solo on for a second. I think it would be cool. Let's see, so we'll just run it up like a little trim piece here. Tap A, make it a poly mesh. We'll append the new geo, hop out of preview mesh, we'll delete the topo on the z-sphere, and do a mirror and weld, and flip. One of the things I like about this workflow is, you know, once you've seen it a few times, it's pretty easy, but you can make some really cool stuff with it, and it doesn't take very long, in my opinion. And it's not very tedious. I mean, maybe other people would find this process to be, you know, one of the 7 circles of hell, but I think it's kind of fun. And I hope that you do too. So we'll just kind of scoot this one down a bit. And let's go ahead and set this up so that it'll work nicely. I just want these sharp corners here creased, so I'm going to go to the auto creasing. We'll go to crease and then just regular old crease. And we'll do crease level set to 2. Let's see, what do we have? So I'm going to crash it through there, and through there, and there. And I'm going to back it up a little bit. We've got that sharp corner there, so let's preserve that. Do crease edge loop complete. Back to move, just kind of tuck this stuff in. I'm going to push this down a bit. Make some little more adjustments. Maybe this piece like rides a little outside. Maybe not that much outside. So I've got another ledge right there. I think that's worth creasing as well. Works better if you actually crease it. There we go. So we have a nice little trim piece. Oops. Make sure you got the right brush. Cool. All right. So whatever, I think that's like, I don't know, maybe an hour to rebuild the front of the face here with what is now, we're going to continue to add more detail to this, but I'm going to go ahead and do the entire rest of the bug, and if anything else pops up as being like interesting or worth mentioning, I guess I'll probably mention it one way or another. But that's like most of it, right? Like adding some repeating features, integrating primitives, building little trim pieces, setting up your low poly, adding curvature, making sure that stuff kind of works together. Blah blah blah. That's how I do it anyway. So once we get everything else built out, there's like a next level of detail that we'll add that's gonna be really cool, and I think take it to the next level in terms of its visual complexity, and it's not that much more difficult than what we've done so far. So yeah, stick around for that.